Welcome back. This is part 2 of Ancestors. We have completed our black and white drawing with permanent ink, and now we're going to go over it with some watercolor to add some color to our ancestors. Okay, I think we're about done with that. So I'm going to prepare the next step that we're going to do. This should have plenty of time to dry, and once the pen and ink is dry, it will not move. It's permanent. That's what it means by permanent. So if we go over the top with any kind of water-based media, it shouldn't move. So we need some water-based media. So I've got my little portable painter palette. Wait till you see how cute this is. Slide this off, and it opens up like this. And I've put this on the top, and I've filled it. When you buy these, you buy them empty. And I've filled it with some favorite colors. And I chose QOR, or Core Colors by Golden. Stands for Quality of Results. And I have in here bismuth yellow, nickel azo, raw sienna, quinacridone gold deep, burnt sienna, quinacridone burnt orange, permanent scarlet, pyrrole red deep, cobalt teal, ultramarine blue, sap green, and dioxazine purple. You don't need all those exact colors, and I won't use all those colors. Maybe I will, I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I knew you would want to know what's in this palette. So in here you also have a little brush. I'm going to set that over here for the ready. If you like, you can take the container and slide it back here and give it some legs to stand on, or you don't have to, you could let it be flat on the table. But this is kind of neat because you can take your little rubber band here and put it back on the side. And that'll hold our brush here, or we can have it at the ready here, or we can set it up and fill the sides with water. I'm going to do that off camera so I don't spill it on the work. I'm going to just put some water in one of those water containers here. So this has water in it now. And all that noodle doodling gave me time to make sure this is completely dry. So we have Ancestor Ida and Ancestor Albert. Those were actually my grandparents. So if you'd like to do this, find out more about the ancestors that you have, and maybe they will model for you in a portrait. And then I'm going to tie them together with some colors. Because I have all of my black and white and value done, I could make organized colors, or I could just go willy-nilly and just have colors running all over the place. Now, let's get out our inspiration piece and look at what was done with the landscape. Some crazy colors, but the black and white pen and ink work hold the composition together. So it's up to us however we'd like to do, but I'd like the colors to kind of swirl through here kind of ethereally and tie these two people together that obviously had a great bond for one another. So let's think about some cool colors. I'm going to take some ultramarine blue and a lot of water in there, and I'm going to make a background and kind of swirl it around. Now, like I said, this is a very smooth board. It's foam board, and it's kind of like a hot press watercolor paper. So I'm getting a lot of interesting lines. And before we get too far with too much of the same color, I'm going to slip over here and find some purple. And you notice I put water down first because I don't want any hard edges. So I'm going to let that watercolor swirl around, and I kind of like the swirling that it's doing. These core watercolors do some interesting textures too. Look at that. You won't get that with every kind of watercolor. And I'm going to let it happen because and I'm going to even splash some just plain water in there, and it'll make some resist kinds of things. Maybe we'll just keep swirling these colors around. And I'm thinking analogous colors, which are colors that you would find beside each other on the color wheel. So if we do blue, purple would be the secondary. We'll top it off with a little bit of alizarin crimson on the top. This was permanent scarlet, but that's pretty close. So that the red and the blue will combine and make the purple, even though I added it with color. Oh, look at all the cool stuff going on in there. That's fun. Here, we'll juice it up a little bit. Since Valentine's Day is coming, we'll put some red in there for these two that were obviously sweethearts, or there would be no me. We'll tap some color in there. That's pretty vibrant, so we got to come up here on the other side. I'm going to intensify the blue, add some water. We can decide if we want to make it realistic colors in the characters or not, or just maybe even, because the color is permanent, I can put that color right over top and it will blend in and it won't lose the value. So that might be something kind of fun to do. Just paint right over top. This lets you have great freedom. And maybe I'll repeat the red over here and the purple so we have a repeat of what we just did above. Oh, I like how it's doing some strange stuff on the board. Tap some water in there. Let the paint be paint. Let the watercolor have some fun. Don't fight the watercolor. Let it paint. That's why we like watercolor. With that watercolor look, sometimes we have to control it, and then it doesn't work. It's best when it's out of control a little bit. We don't have to. We let it do what it wants to do. I'm not going to go over their faces. I'm going to go around their faces and let that look like background. But I'll go over their garments, kind of let them dissolve into it. And for your painting, you can do anything you want. There are no right and wrong answers in the art world. Isn't that good news? So, if I did something that you don't like, well, then you don't have to do it. I'm going to add a little bit more dark in there. Then, let's see. Maybe we should give them just a little bit of skin tone. And what is the color of skin tone? It's a little bit of red, a little bit of yellow. If you've got a deeper tan, maybe some burnt sienna in there looks good, and a whole lot of water. Whole lot of water. I'm just going to float in a little bit of skin tone and maybe bump up the red on the cheeks where the skin is thinnest. Lips, cheeks, nose. The very tip of your nose is a little redder. Cheeks. And lips. We can also come back and do those details later. So I'm going to dry off the brush and just kind of go back in and control and soften. And maybe we'll do a little bit of that for Albert down here. We've made our own coloring book page with the black and white. So now we can just fill it in. In fact, you can go and make some color copies and fill it in, or let other people fill it in. Make a whole party out of your ancestors. Have the whole family get involved. Let the kids paint their ancestors and get to know them. I never knew this man, but I did know this woman, but certainly not at this young age. So it's fun to see them in that young age. So, there you have it. Have some fun with your ancestors. They will model for you beautifully, and you'll get to know them again. Keep painting.